Try to do these. Oh, let me get the sound up. Sorry about everybody. Hopefully the sound's on now. So again, this is your daily financial news for Thursday, October 29th. And we usually do these at 7:30. Occasionally on Thursdays, we need to do them at 7 because it's important for me to get you. This is one of my first videos of the day. Again, what's going on in the markets today, this morning. The reason we have to do it occasionally early on Thursdays is our expert series with Jonathan Twomley kicks off at 7:30. He is a rock star expert and a very frequent high viewership. So we do his interviews at 7:30. He's actually on the East Coast, so it's 10:30 his time. Try to get it done by his lunchtime. So we do these Thursdays at 7. Another thing to sort of call your attention to. Yesterday afternoon, I put out a video from a subscriber of this channel, a student of the course, talking about getting her first deal. She is likely like many of you. She has a demanding full-time job. She's the mother, and she is investing in a market a long, long way away. She did the work. She knows what a good deal is. She knows what a great deal is. And she just completed her first deal. So let's shout out Tamika. Congratulations. Thanks for all of your support and your watching. And that second deal you identified looks pretty good as well. So congratulations. Again, seeing students do the work is, I think, what the thumbnail is important. So do me a favor, take a watch of that video. I'm reviewing a letter or email that Tamika was nice enough to send me. But listen to her story and think of that as you. And you know, we all have decisions to do the work, and you know, we need to figure out if that is for us. So a couple of things about today. We have been talking about Thursday since last Saturday as being a big day. We got a lot of the stuff this morning. Don't forget, equally important, after hours when all the FANG names post their earnings for the quarter. It's going to be a pretty busy day. So let's start off by talking about Q3 GDP. Q3 GDP is something we've been talking about for 6 or 8 weeks. We have been saying it's going to be a blockbuster, and boy, it did not disappoint. It came in at 33.1%, a record all time. Do you by chance know what the past record was? I didn't either. I had to go look it up. You got a guess? Best quarter ever. It was 16.7% was the past record. I believe that was in the World War II timeframe, post World War II. But I'm going to go ahead and dig into this GDP number of 33.1% because it is a rock star number. A couple of things about it. First and foremost, if we want to remember, GDP is one of those interesting numbers. When you put numbers back to back, you need to really tell the story. So for a baseline, let's just use 100, right? We're coming out of Q1 is 100. It falls 32.6%, right? No, 31.4%. So our new baseline goes from 100 to 68.6. From 68.6, it goes up a blistering 33.1. Just so you know, those numbers don't equal 100. It actually equals 91.3. Again, great number, awesome number. The consumer was strong, housing, autos, all the stuff we've been talking about. But again, it's not back to 100. So don't think down 32, up 33, we're even. I think that is important to understand. So a couple of things we are seeing is, I want to dig into the GDP number. I'll probably do a separate video if I really find the breakdown. But autos were big, SUVs, trucks, housing we've been talking about for a while now, both buying and upgrading housing. Pretty much anything with consumer orientation. The earnings that have come out today have been pretty amazing. I got a long list of them. Some of these companies I didn't even know. Contour, which is really Lee's and Wrangler jeans, right? Think Zoom calls, jeans are pretty popular. They made $1.33 versus an estimate of 58 cents. More importantly, they reinstated their dividend, which was out for 2 quarters. Again, telling you that they are feeling good about the future. Tapestry, we've talked about them last quarter, I think. They're the parent of Coach and Kate Spade. 58 cents versus 23 cents. Really showing the investment in the digital economy. Again, that's a double, right? Expect 23, made 58. Ford Motors, 300% beat. 65 cents versus 19. Big pickup in SUVs and pickups. The reasons that's important is that's where all the margin is, right? That's where Ford and pretty much any automaker makes their margin. It's not the cheap cars, it's the SUVs and pickup trucks. Pinterest, big earnings last night, blew it out of the water. 13 cents versus 3 cents. A lot more users, a lot more traffic, a lot of goodness ahead. Again, Pinterest did kind of identify that, hey, they may have picked up some demand from the boycott of Facebook. Again, that's probably more of a benefit for Pinterest than a hurt to Facebook. My guess is Facebook is so big, any real boycott maybe had a, I don't know what, a half a day impact in the behemoth, but we will see after hours. It's one of the companies that reports. Shell Oil came out and actually raised their dividend. It's interesting. It's an oil stock. Again, we've talked about oil being in a bad space. It's one of those commodities we need to watch worldwide. They actually raised their dividend. It's now 16.65 cents a share. At least it sends a measure that they are going to continue and they care about their dividend. They made $955 million year on year. They made $4.7 billion last year, just to show you the impact of oil demand and supply. United Airlines is introducing a process that may become a standard on long-haul flights, which is something to at least look at. They're adopting rapid tests for flights between Newark, think New York, and the UK, starting November 6th. So they're going to basically give everybody a rapid test, pretty much like the NFL does before they board a plane. One sec, my dog is making noise. He doesn't feel good these days. Come here, Jimbo. Everybody wants to see you. See? Oh, Jimbo, come here. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. I care about my puppy. I care about you. I'm doing this live, so sometimes I need to pivot a little bit. All right, back to United. Again, these long-haul flights are something we're going to watch, see if it becomes a standard. See if the consumer or the traveler pivots to United from other long-haul carriers because of this test. This is what businesses need to do. They need to try to differentiate themselves. They need to stop asking for government bailouts, and they need to differentiate themselves. And I applaud United for doing this. I believe they started doing this on San Francisco and LA flights to Hawaii already. I need to validate that. I did hear that. But again, I think it is important to talk about long-haul travel. Again, New York or Newark to the UK. I think that's a big deal. Continuing on earnings, Yum Brands. Think Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut. $1.01 versus 80 cents. Revenue beat. But more importantly, they are seeing same-store sales up 3%. They were down last quarter. As I've talked about, with McDonald's here a month ago, I'm not really sure I like that. I like what that's saying. I think the big chains showing same-store sales up means mom and pop are losing. I think small and medium-sized business is the backbone. I do think, again, Q4 is a quarter where a lot of them give up. But I am really optimistic about 2021. I think the American system, the nature to make your mark, all of that, we don't give up. I do think Q4 will be difficult, but that's okay. That's what Chapter 11's for. Readjust, go get better leases, and move on. LVMH and Tiffany. LVMH, think Louis Vuitton, luxury producer of goods, has re-agreed to buy Tiffany's about, I think it was in February, right when this thing was taken off. They agreed to buy Tiffany's for $135 a share, $135 a share. This pandemic or health crisis hits, and they go, nope, material adverse effects, we're not closing. Lawsuits get filed. They were just about to start, and lo and behold, the threat of an expensive lawsuit, both companies came together. They agreed to a slightly lower price of $131.50. So I think it's about a 2.5% adjustment. And they're going to look to close before the end of the year. So that will be good. I thought Visa was an interesting report. Again, it beat. But if you scratch the surface, it talks about profit being down 29% because of less transactions. Again, I think we talked about MasterCard and American Express here within the last 4 weeks. Just another sign that consumers are saving or not spending. It's pretty interesting. Spotify was the one earnings announcement that was a disappointment. All the others I've read were just blowout numbers and really showing that analysts don't know what they're doing. But Spotify had a wider than expected loss, and it also missed on the top line, so expect their stock to be hit. The other news we always talk about on Thursday, and it likely will be where Jonathan and I start our conversation, is unemployment. Unemployment down. Unemployment down. Claims are down 40,000 to 751. Clearly, the trend continues. We're going down slowly, slower than you and I would like. Continuing claims also down to just over 7 million from 7.7 to, or no, down 709,000 to 7 million at 750,000. Again, heading in the right direction. Remember, after hours, big earnings from the tech, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet / Google, and Facebook. It is going to be a wild 1 to 2 o'clock Pacific, 4 to 5 o'clock Eastern. And then finally for you, we have Walmart. Walmart is doing something different. They have a huge footprint, as you and I know, lots of stores, lots of square footage. They've turned 4 stores into what they call a laboratory. Essentially, think of the Walmart stores becoming an Amazon fulfillment center. They're keeping the physical footprint, rows and shelves and all of that, but they've basically made it an e-commerce hub. So they have employees, instead of helping shoppers, they have these digital, probably their phones, and they're going up, picking up goods and shipping them out to local, kind of that last mile delivery. I think it is a genius move. I think they'll be able to use the square footage differently. And again, this is companies looking at this crisis and doing things differently. This crisis has done 2 things. It has accelerated trends and it has exposed the K-shaped economy. I'm still concerned about the bottom of the K, but wow, Q3, awesome number. It is a look back. We've talked about that a couple of times. Unemployment claims, much better than I expected at the end of October. Europe is locking down. We'll see what happens in the US, but we should enjoy one day of good news. I think that's what today is. And then lastly, like I've been telling you all week, remain calm. Probably don't make any life decisions this week, as we've been telling you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's a real messy market. We have a lot of things that will be interesting next week, most importantly, the election. So stay calm. Don't get too stressed out. Wild swings, almost 1,000 points yesterday. It was up huge after hours, at least the Dow, and now is down at last I checked. So pump the brakes, appreciate what's going on, watch, learn, and let's have some fun. Again, we're going to talk to Jonathan here in a few minutes. And of course, if you're watching this still, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. If you want your daily financial news, hit subscribe. But as always, be warned, I create 3 or 4 videos a day. So you will get a lot of content. They're all live, no editing. It's just how I choose to roll. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.